Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do a quick video on trying to increase your sales, increase your turnover. I had a bit of a bad February, and when your sales go down, you sometimes doubt yourself as to what to do and how to go about rectifying that. In some ways for me the only way was up, but I did manage to sort of like buck that trend. I always find sales do go down in February time, so I was kind of expecting it. The consistency of sales over the past kind of 12 months has surprised me, to be honest, but I put that down to lockdown and what's going on there. But due to the downturn that I had, I kind of looking into it more and what I can do. First thing I want to mention is that the information is there on eBay. If you have a mid-sized shop and you look at your traffic tab, the information pertaining to sort of like impressions and page views and the amount of items that you've sold is all there. And really that's I looked at that for the first time. I've always been looking at just the turnover figures, but it is important to look at how many impressions you're getting, because it is basically like a funnel. You are hoping to get your item on someone's search, so if they type in fuzzy bunny plush, your item will come up on that, and if it comes up on the screen, then that is an impression. That's what it is. And so when you search something, you'll get a number of things come up. You will create impressions for other people, and then if you click on that and have a look at that item, that's a page view, so that will be slightly less, and then if you go and buy it, that's a sold. So it's important to look at these kind of like statistics that are there on eBay. A lot of the information is there. In this sort of time period I'm looking at, this 140% increase in sales, I increased my impressions by over 2 times. It went up by 130%. I think it's around about sort of 50,000-60,000 a day impressions, and that is for my size of store. I've got about sort of 500-600 items. I'm a kind of one-man band, sourcing the odds and ends on my own. I'm not the biggest eBay reseller in the world, but certainly I want to improve what I do. And that is the other thing as well. I think you've got to kind of know your limits and know where you want to get to. You do see sort of various posts of people doing great figures over the 90-day period, but you have to think, okay, are they in a couple? So for example, a lot of people do this. It's pairs of people. For me, I'm just on my own. Are they full-time? Are they part-time? Do they have other commitments that they need to look after? Do they have other revenue streams that they're looking after, and eBay's just a little bit, or is eBay everything? So you kind of have to look at all of this and decide where you want to be and not compare yourself to anyone else, and that is the key thing really. But obviously you do want to improve. So what did I do to improve? Well, there's things I did already, and that was have a regular routine, and I go bang on about this, but regular routine is just not a listing routine. It's getting up in the morning and maybe making sure you've answered all your outstanding questions. You will see your messages and items that have outstanding questions. If you use good till cancelled, which I do on my store, if you sell stuff, you will have a load of stuff with quantity 0, which you will not be replacing, assuming that they're unique items. And you should go in and delete those out. If you've got multiple items, don't do that obviously, but you should have a regular process of clearing down, because they are items on your store that have no quantity, and the metrics will be registering those items. They won't be getting any interest, so it will be dragging your whole store down. So you want to sort of have a routine for doing that. Also for me, 2 or 3 times a week I will send out offers, every couple of days maybe, and you should do that. That is one of the key things that will get you sales, because it will put your item in the eye line of a seller, and they may check it out. That'll create an impression, which may create someone to look at your item, a page view, and could result in a sale. So that's one of the main things you use. A lot of these things would be obvious. Other things you can use, now I tell you whether I use these or not, but promoting your items, that can be a good way. And really, I look on promoting items as paying eBay to boost your item up the rankings, which is fair enough. If you're happy to do that, you can do that, but there are other ways to kind of promote your item up the rankings if you want to put the work in yourself. So that's an option, available. You can try it at maybe 1%. If you're in a competitive area, you might want to set it at the market rate, but do be aware of what rate it's going on at. Sometimes the default option on that is to put it at the market rate, and if that's 20%, you may get a surprise when it's sold. Key thing about promoted items is that you do only pay if it sells, so that's quite a good thing. But also bear in mind that there is, if you think, I'm going to turn it on for a bit and then turn it off, there is a cookie on there, which I believe stays for 30 days. So if you've turned it off, if it sells sort of like within the 30 days after, you'll still pay the promotional fee. Another good thing to use is sales, and I do that. If something has been hanging around for a long time, you can have a routine to sort of look at items that maybe have been in your store for 6 months and bring them down. So that is well worth doing as well. It's important in terms of routine, and like I say, I do bang on about it quite a bit, but once you've listed something in your store, don't just leave it there. Think to yourself, when am I'm listing these items this week, when am I going to look at them again? For me, it's on a 3-month cycle. That this week I've looked at items that I listed 3 months ago. I've readjusted the price, I've looked at the photos, I've looked at why that doesn't sell. If it doesn't sell after 3 months, really, to eBay, it's dead. So it's important that you look at it and give it a bit of spice. Now, hopefully you won't have too many items that are hanging around for a long time, and that's one of the key things, is to sort of set the right price to start with. So when you're researching items, it's very tempting to sort of say, oh, I don't know, I've got a Casio calculator. What can I get for it? How rich am I going to be? And look at sold, look at completed, and fixed price, and used, and sort it by highest price plus P&P. Not a good thing to do. I think it's best to, you can do that, you can get an idea of the range of prices, but then I think it's best to sort it by what has sold recently. And I will never normally set something at the highest price. It'll normally just be, maybe just a little bit down at that. What things are selling for at the moment, and then look at the price that people are selling them on currently. Because, say if this has gone for like 20 quid, but at the moment someone's got that on for 15, and say there could be 5 sellers who've got that on for 15. 15 or less is the price. Of course, you've got to source right stuff as well, so that's really just a build up of knowledge, so look to doing that. But I would say the single most thing that will increase your sales, and it's just going to be so obvious to so many people, but it is to list regularly. It is to, and that can be any number of things. I'm not going to say to you, you need to list 50 a day, but what I would say is, don't list 50 in a day and then don't do anything for 10 days. You're better off listing 5 a day for 10 days. It's that regular activity that will highlight your store to other people. And you've got to do what works for you. So if you're in a situation where you're full-time and you can focus on it fully yourself, it might be 50 to 100 a day. If you're part-time, it might be 10 a day. You've got to find what realistically you can do, and you can do consistently. And it's just good to have that routine defined, because there will be times where you fall off of it, but to know that you can get back on it. I mean, I have a routine. I wouldn't say I have a set number of things that I do, but I have a minimum amount of things I do. So every morning I will wake up and I will list 5 things. Normally in a day I will list 20 things, but that can vary depending on what else is going on in my life. But to get up in the morning and get that first thing done, it is so good working like that. And it's the way I work as well is also to chunk things down. I won't sit there and photograph 100 items. I will do maybe 5 or 6 and get them finished, and then I will do another 5 or 6, because you may have big plans to sort of list loads and loads of items, but if something else happens and you're left halfway through doing 100 listings but nothing completed, nothing is done. But for me, if I do 5 or 6 and then another 5 or 6 and something happens, I've done 12 and they're done. So that's another good thing to do. What I have been doing over the last month is maximising my store's potential. So I'm on a middle store. I have various benefits, sales, promotions, multi-buy, all that sort of thing. But I have 1,500 listings that I can use, and I have been maximising that potential. So obviously that is a mix between putting as many new items on as possible. The new items, are the best items. I've did a video. I may well link it if I can get around to it. But it was looking at the items that are selling on my store. How long have they been on my store? And the vast majority of stuff is new stuff that's gone on. I think it was about 80% of I was kind of like, okay, I've sold 100 items. When did I list these? And 80% of those were recent. So it just goes to show that new stuff will go on, but do not ignore the old stuff. Use your store's potential to try and get that shifted as well. So push every option available to you. And tinkering is a great thing to do. Turning best offers on, turning best offers off, increasing price, putting a sale on, decreasing price, changing your title. And you can use the mass editor for that. So I'd just do absolutely everything. You don't want to spend too much time on it. If you're doing a mass change in price, do use the mass editor, and just small changes will have a good effect as well. So have a go at that and see how you think. I mean, I looked at 100 listings I had today, and it took me probably about an hour. I don't want it to go any longer than that. Couple of things before I finish that I don't use. I do not use free post apart from on media where everyone else is using the free post option. I don't do that because if I'm doing a sale or if I'm doing any sort of promotion, I don't want the sale percentage impacting on the postage price as well. So for example, if I had a £10 item free post and I did a 50% sale, the whole thing would come down by 50%. But if I had a £6 item with £3.99 postage and I did a 50% sale, only the £6 comes down. So that's my reason for not doing that. I've also found that it doesn't really make any difference anyway. And the other thing I don't do is quick dispatch. I could get like some sort of badge on my listings, and I did it once and tried to get all the things for this badge. Didn't make any difference at all to sales, and I'm on a 3-day dispatch, and having that 3-day dispatch was actually more valuable to me because it gave me the flexibility in my day to sort of do different things. Well, that's about it. I've probably missed like a billion things I meant to say. If you have any tips to sort of like increase the number of impressions you're getting, increase your page views, obviously that's sort of price and everything, and the bottom line is increase your sales, do put them in the comments. I've tried all different things at different times, but I found really routine and maximising the store's potential of what's available to you are the major things you want to do. Don't overcomplicate it, get the stuff on and it will sell. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm kind of like pushing for the 2,500 I think. Who knows, I might do a giveaway. I mean, I very much doubt it, but I might do. But if you did like the video, stick a thumbs up and hopefully catch you soon. Take care, see you later.